we all remember that when we were kids, our parents say to us that don't do this or don't do that. And though the intention was there to protecting us, sometimes that kind of statement is really instilled in our subconscious mind. And so as we growing up, you become an adult, we constantly looked for dangers, and you know that we live in fear, we feel in fear, and we think in fear. In today's video, I am going to share with you how I shift that, how I delete and remove that fear from my life and trust more myself and trust more life in general can lead me to living a better life. So it's the story back in 2020. Probably wouldn't be January in 2020, and you know what happened in 2020 with COVID, right? And a few months prior to January 2020, I kind of wanted to quit my job. It's because I realized that the environment, the workplace in that company that I used to work was so toxic, and I can feel it in my body. And when I went to, I'm a very friendly person, and I have a bubbly characteristic. But when I had to really go inside and just put myself into that shell, it means that there's something that I don't feel right here, and I trust a lot of my intuition. So prior to a few months, I feel like okay, it's time for me to really go now, because I didn't feel they belonged here anymore. But I didn't want to make a decision based on a fear of the moment or based on my fear. I think it through, but I don't want to let that thought really overtake my decision. So what I decided to do is in January 2020, I took myself to India, stay in ashram of Sadhguru, and just not really participating in any programs, but to be there in that, meditative kind of environment, and to be really spending time with myself and find out what I really want. So I spent 7 days there, and then every day I meditate, and all of a sudden I can hear as well the voice. It's not coming from my ego, but I just feel it's coming from my higher self. And so as I land back to Dubai, I decided next day when I come back to work, I quit my job. And I did quit my job. But remember that time, I think probably in December 2019, the COVID already started in China, and then some other country as well. We start hearing about COVID, but we never expect that it's going to come to Dubai, right? And at that time, everyone just said to me that you need to find a new job first before you quit the job. How is that possible right now to find a job in that very chaotic period of time? I know that when I make a decisions, when my mind is really calm, it is the right decisions. And because I know that I trust life, and I know that I trust myself, and I trust that decision. So I kind of push out all the noise and all the fear that people try to impose on me. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's because they care for me and they want to protect me as well. And so that's why they share their thought with me, and their fear for me, and their fear to make sure that I make the right decision. But I was very clear that I do not want to let their fear impose on me, because I trust that this is the right decisions for me. And at that time, so I have 2-month periods, notice periods, and at that time I kind of say to myself that, well, by the end of February I'm gonna find a job. Now, it wasn't easy. It wasn't that smooth sailing in the sense of, okay, I'm gonna trust that up, and it's gonna by the end of February I'm gonna find a job. However, it's because you have so many people around you and say that to you, and now you heard about the COVID is going to happen, right? And you start to get that moment of fearful as well. But then I really take a step back and say to myself that what was the worst case scenario can happen. I lost my job. I'm gonna go back to my home country and spend more time with my family. Then that wasn't the worst case, right? And so when I thought about the worst scenarios can happen, it's gonna be easy for me to really go forward and trust more of the journey that I took. And so I keep all these things for myself. I went for interview. I did not share with anyone. I just very silently do on my own thing and focus my energy into me and into what I want to feel and what I want to create. And 1 week before I have some interviews, and 1 week before the end of February, I got an interview with a company, and then I kind of like that company. Maybe it's not because it's different, but I think because I really feel connected to the manager, which is my direct manager. And I was like, I wish I'm going to work with them. But then they call me back and they say, I'm so sorry, we're going to go with another candidate, but we're going to keep you profile in our data, and just in case in the future, if we have any other position opening, we're going to call you, right? And I was a bit sad, but I say to myself that if it is not meant for me, then it's not for me. There's going to be a better job, a better opportunity ahead of time. But remember that I have really 1 week left before the end of February. So kind of a few days before the end of February, they call me back. I received a call. I was surprised. I like, wow, why did you call me back? And I was told that after considerations, blah, 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 they decided to go ahead with my application instead of other person application. And I signed my contract on 27th of February 2020. So that is the first thing that I feel so confident about my decision. I felt so confident about that if I can trust my ability to make that happen, but I also surrender my control and trust the universe, trust life, it will always bring me to a better result. And the second, so I worked with that company for 3 years, and it was wonderful. And I think if you take on a journey, and you know that the journey is going to be it's not going to be a flat road like this. It's going to be ups and down, and you know that when you come to go up, it means that you're about to go down. And so that is a very normal part of life. And after 3 years, and I think nearly 4 years, I kind of feel that, I just feel that my mission in this company it's done now. It's my time to leave now. And when I had that thought is about January 2023. Sorry, July 2023. In August, again, because I want to make a decision, then I think it's just because my higher self is always guiding me, and I always make my decision in India when my mind is really calm. So I decided to take myself to a small, a getaway, disconnect with the world in India. I came back to the same place I used to be a few years back, 3 years back. And I did not really rush into making decisions straight away. I was like, when the answer comes, it will come. And I remember that during that time, I also write down what kind of environment I want to attract, a new environment I want to attract, and what kind of salary or package that I want to have in my next job, right? That was in August. Yes, in August in 2023. And again, when my mind is really calm and quiet, I know it's time for me to leave, and I make a decision in India that I'm going to leave. So came back to Dubai, again resign a job without having a job. I have no idea what it is, but I have a tendency to quit a job without having a job, but then find a better job after that. I would not encourage you to do that though. Yeah, to be safe side, maybe you just need to find a job first, but it's just me. I have no fear when it comes to that. So I trust myself, I trust the universe. So came back to Dubai, resign, and I haven't got anything in my hands at that point. And again, I have 3 month notice period. Sorry, 2 month notice periods as well. 2 or 3? 2. And right the moment when I resign, I received an email from a lady, and she reached out to me, and she was like, "Well, I see your profile on LinkedIn. I would like to reach out to you and you know, to see what is the potential opportunities here." And their company is looking as well for the job that I do, and that was in August. So we went for a few interviews. I went there for a few interviews, and I can stay in the country for 3 months after my visa cancellation, which is I allowed myself for 3 months to find a job. And the interview with that company and some other company as well, but I didn't feel connected, so I did not really full-heartedly put it myself into those companies, except only the company that there's a lady reached out to me right after I resigned. So, however, the interviewing process take too long. 2 months, I went to a few interviews, nothing really happened. They just say that they are narrowing down right now the candidate. And finally, one day, I got a call from the lady, from the director of HR. She reached out to me and said, "I want to have a call with you, a video call with you." I say, "Amazing, I'm up for it." And remember, at that time, I really quit my job, right? I completely as a free bird at that moment, and I have a chat with her on a video. She explained a lot, and she said that I'm so sorry for the process. So she made me feel that, wow, maybe I'm not going to choose you. However, prior to that, in my gut, I know this is the company for me, and I know that I'm going to work for them, right? And she congratulated me that I got a job. And guess what? I received exactly the package, the salary package that I wrote on my journal in July when I was in India. So there you go. One more time, I listened to my intuition. I did not listen to the fear of my ego inside my head, but also the fear of the people around me who loves me, who want to protect me. But sometimes everyone has a different journey to take, and my journey is completely different with their journey. And so I think in life, what I've learned in life here is that you need to listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, not your ego, not your mind. And always make decisions when your mind is calm and quiet, not when your mind is messy and chaotic and noisy. Second things here is we need to learn to trust our ability to make this life wonderful, which is I do, and I'm still doing it. We need to trust that we always here and we are always being protected by life. And sometimes things is not going the ways as we plan. The question is, how do we know this is the best thing for us when in the universe there's 1,000 opportunities out there and we never experienced yet? Why don't we let go of our control? Why don't we surrender our plan to the universe? We still make our plan those, but We need to trust that if the plans that we made is not really working out, it's because there is better plan and higher plans and a better for us is ahead of us. And life loves that. Life wants us to be happy and to be joyful and to be fulfilled. And because of that, we need to learn to really trust life, trust ourselves, and trust that no matter what's going to happen, we are deserving happiness, we are deserving peace, and we're deserving all the great things in life. So I know I rambling a lot, but I hope that by sharing my story, it's allow you to listen more to your intuition, trust more of yourself, and trust more life.